iHeart, get ready. Fantasy football is here. Welcome to the Scout Fantasy Show. ScoutFantasy.com is home to the Fantasy Football World Championships and the best players in the world. Real money winners giving their secrets to help you win. Now exclusively on iHeart. This is the Scout Fantasy Show with your host, the one, the only, Dr. Roto.
Everybody, it's Dr. Roto. Get out the insurance cards, get out the copay. The office is open, my friends. All right, let's get to some fantasy baseball talk. And we will discuss some things that I am looking forward to this weekend. And I got to have my eyes open and watch very closely because there are some issues that I need to get to the bottom of. And let's discuss some of these issues. So a couple of pitchers I'm very interested in seeing their first starts this year. The first pitcher is Jose Berrios. I can't say enough about this guy because I was all over him last year. I mean, I loved him. So you've got to listen to these numbers, okay? In 2016, last year in AAA, 111 and a third innings, 74 hits, 125 strikeouts, and 36 walks. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. Then he came up to the majors last year, and in 58 innings, he let up 74 hits, 52 earned runs, 49 strikeouts, and 35 walks. So this is a guy who had a ratio of 4-1 in the minors, and he comes to the majors, and he's 1-1. Then this year in the minors, another 39 and 2/3 innings, 24 hits, 39 strikeouts, 8 walks. So, I mean, he's 5-1 on strikeouts to walks. So this is a guy who has mastered AAA. So there are two kinds of players that could happen now. You become a quad A player. Never heard of a 4A player, have you? Well, let me tell you what a 4A player is. A guy who's too good for the minors and not good enough for the majors, and he ends up not producing and having no career. And being a journeyman and going to like 5 or 6 different teams over his career and really accomplishing nothing, and he's retired by 28, and he's a pitching coach somewhere in some high school. That's a quad A player. At one time, people thought Chris Davis was a quad A player. They did. But he ended up going to Buck Showalter and the Orioles, who let him play every day. When he was with the Rangers, he was a quad A player. Sometimes players need a new scenery, a new pitching coach, a new something. Whatever it is, they need a new something. Is that the case with Berrios? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. I know that he had an 8.02 ERA and a 1.87 WHIP. I know that. And that's pretty darn disgusting. So I'm open-minded to seeing what happens. Now, I bid on him in one league, and in 3 other leagues, I couldn't bid on him because he had to be brought up to the majors. So I'm being quite honest when I say this. I want his first outing to be perfectly mediocre. I want mediocrity at its finest. If it's a bad outing, I'm worried that they send him down. If it's a good outing, in free agency, the fab is going to be an immense number. And I don't want to pay that immense number. I want to pay the cheap number. So I'm hoping that a perfectly mediocre outing keeps the numbers low. Because I don't want to spend $283 on Jose Berrios. Let me tell you that right now. No way. No way. Some idiot might. I'm not that idiot. But, you know, he's got potential. He's got potential. So I don't know. They said it was not imminent, him being brought up, and sure enough, 5 hours later, it's imminent. He's coming up. I don't like the matchup against Cleveland. In fact, I hate the matchup against Cleveland. That is not who I'd want to bring him up against. But what can I tell you? They are bringing him up, and he's starting against Cleveland. Here's another guy. I got another guy. I got a guy who knows a guy about a guy. The Butler. Eddie Butler. The Butler did it. So let's take a look at Eddie Butler. Eddie Butler pitched in the Rocky organization for a long time. And he was a very good prospect. And you know what? He stunk. But let me tell you, in Double A a few years ago, 108 innings, 104 hits, 60 strikeouts at an ERA of 3.5. In Triple A, he was But the Rockies always thought that he was going to be one of their better prospects. So he ends up in the Cubs organization, and here's what he's done. He's 26 years old, and in the minor leagues thus far, 30 innings, 1.17 ERA, 1.13 whip. Now, there is one number I don't like. 17 strikeouts to 8 walks. That's a 2-to-1 ratio. I don't love that. It's a little higher than I want. But he might be pitching for the Cubs. And that Cubs lineup is fierce. So this is a guy who might be able to win you 10 games if he can make it into this lineup. Am I going to watch him closely? You better believe it. I mean, if Eddie Butler gets a shot and he keeps that job, he is a very intriguing pitcher. Why? Location. Right? Location meaning not the pitch location, where he's playing. Chicago Cubs. Good team, good bullpen, good offense, good chance to be successful. Location. I'm very, very concerned about a couple of injuries. I'm concerned about Ryan Braun, and I'm concerned about Robinson Cano. So Ryan Braun says he doesn't want to get his forearm injury to get any worse. And here's what he says. I can't run or throw. If you can't run and you can't throw because your calf and your forearm is hurting you, what can you do? It's a problem. Call me crazy, but if you can't run or throw, can you play the game of baseball? I'm not so sure. Let's get him on the DL ASAP. Because if he does, I can deal with it. If he's not on the DL, I can't deal with it. Another guy like that is Robinson Cano. So Cano injured his quad on May 9th. Right? Suffered a strained quad. On May 10th, the dude goes 4 for 5 and a home run and 3 RBIs. But then on May 11th, they gave him the night off. So, is he injured? Is he not? Was it just a night off? I'm not sure. I gotta see. If he does come back, great. If he doesn't, put him on the DL ASAP because I need this guy back in my lineup. I need him back in my lineup right now. Because this guy is a great hitter. Since 2009, you ready? 25, 29, 28, 33, 27, 14, 21, 39. These are his home runs. Right? And then 85, 109, 118, 94, 107, 82, 79, 103. Home runs and RBIs. How consistent is he? I mean, how consistent is this guy? Consistency, thy name is Robbie Cano. Don't you know? I'm very interested to see what happens with the New York Metropolitans this weekend. Very. Firstly, what's up with Juris Familia? I know he's got a blood clot. That's not good. He's got an arterial clot in his right shoulder. He's flying to St. Louis. Is he out a day? A month? 2 months? The season? Is Addison Reed going to be the most expensive guy in free agency? He very well may be. If it comes down in the next couple of days that Familia is going to be out for any real length of time, Reed is going to go for a fortune of money. And this is why a lot of people say don't spend money on closers and drafts. Because Familia, you would have said, was a top 10 pitcher. Top 10 closer. But he won't be there, and now you'll spend money on Reed. I don't necessarily subscribe to this. And I'll tell you why. Let's say I don't spend money on closers in the draft. But now I'm going to have to spend $400 or if not more on a closer in free agency. It's a lot cheaper to get him in the draft than it is now. You think I want to spend $400 on Addison Reed now? I really don't. That might be half my fab money left. For Addison Reed, did I wake up this morning? I woke up this morning and I thought about a lot of things. One of them was not paying $400 for Addison Reed. I promise you that. That was not one of the things that I was thinking about. I was thinking about what was I getting my wife for Mother's Day. I was thinking about Dr. Roto Jr. going to Busch Gardens on a class trip. I was not thinking about dropping $400 in fab money for Addison Reed. Telling you. Here's another thing I want to watch with the Mets. Matt Harvey. So, who isn't hurt on the Mets roster? Tell me that. Syndergaard, Matz, Lugo, Familia, they're all hurt. All hurt. And Matt Harvey was suspended for basically being a knucklehead. Who knows exactly what happened on Cinco de Mayo? But I know it wasn't good. And I know that they suspended him, but he's starting Friday against the Brewers. So, when you've been suspended, you've got to think it's a little humiliating and potentially humbling. Is Matt Harvey going to walk into the clubhouse like a jerk, or is he going to come in as a humbled, apologetic guy who wants to be a good teammate? Sean Childs, who I respect greatly, thought Matt Harvey could be a top 20 pitcher this year. All we've seen is a train wreck. He had 3 decent starts and 2 terrible ones. Is he capable of doing better? Absolutely. Absolutely. If he can go back to his first 3 starts when he was decent. But it's got to start now for him. It's got to start now. So I think Matt Harvey's a guy that I'm watching very, very, very closely this weekend. Is he real deal? Is he ready to handle his issues? Is he ready to be a grown-up? Is he ready to be a good teammate? And if so, is that worth a guy who I want in my leagues? I'm watching him very closely. Give you another guy who I'm watching very closely. Kevin Gausman. Do you know how bad Kevin Gausman's been this year? I mean, really bad. I don't think you understand. So let's see. Earned runs, 2.418, 5.512. His current ERA is 6.63. His current whip is 1.74. Okay? His last outing was decent against the Nationals. 7 innings, 2 runs, 8 strikeouts, 1 walk. That was the Gausman that I was hoping for all year. That's the Gausman I was hoping to see for the breakout year that I was expecting. So now he gets the Kansas City Royals. So this is a big game. It's a big game against the Kansas City Royals. Can he put together a good game against a bad team? And we can argue the Royals' offense has been one of the worst in the major leagues. But this is a game that I need Gausman to shut down the Royals. If he can do that, or at least if he can give me another game similar to the one he gave against the Nationals, I look at the uptick. And I told my friend this a couple of weeks ago. Get Gausman now. Because if Gausman has another good start, you won't be able to get him in another week or 2. So if you're a gambling man, which you might be if you play fantasy sports, you might want to trade for Gausman today or tomorrow before he starts on Sunday and take a shot. If you're nervous, which you should be, and you want to wait to Sunday, let's hope he has a good start, not a great one. Because if it's a great start, you ain't getting him. If it's a good start, you just might. Right? If it's a good start, you just might. Not great. Great, you won't get him because somebody's like, nah, he's turned the corner. Good start, you may be able to get one last chance to get him. I think if he has one more good start this week, this may be the last chance to get Kevin Gausman in a trade. Just throwing that out there. All right, one more guy that I'm interested in seeing this week, Luis Severino. Luis Severino has been nothing short of spectacular for the Yankees. Really has been. And he gets the pitch against the mighty Astros, who have been terrific. Now, Severino has been great, but he struggled with giving up home runs this year. He's let up a lot of home runs this year. And now he's at Yankee Stadium on Saturday, pitching in a game that he should be able to win against my Tears for Fears. But 7 home runs in less than 40 innings is a lot of home runs. How will Severino do against that tough Astros lineup in Yankee Stadium? I'm glued to the TV to see this. If Severino can give the Yankees a really good start here, I hold hope that this will continue good things for him because this is a big game. Going up against the Astros, a real good offense in Yankee Stadium, if he could shut them down, the confidence that it would give this kid would be immense. Immense. So if he lets up 1 home run, I can live with it. If it's more than 1 home run, I can't. So I'm very, very tuned into this game this weekend. I'd like you guys to be tuned into Scout Fantasy. I'm going to tell you something about the optimizer last night. This is a true story. The optimizer liked Mike Napoli. I looked at Mike Napoli. The guy had like 2 hits all year against a left-handed pitcher. But the optimizer loved him. Now, I didn't take into account the terrible San Diego Padres bullpen or the fact that it was hot in Texas, what have you. But the optimizer was on Mike Napoli, and what did he do? 2 home runs. Boom. I should have had him. In the optimizer, I need to trust, and I hope you do as well. I hope you do as well. And the only place you can find it is scoutfantasy.com. Enter the promo code ROTO, that's ROTO. Pay for 1 month, get 2 more for free. It's as simple as that. You'll get access to my articles. You get access to Adam Ronis, Sean Childs, his football outlooks. Y2 Casey is doing a great article for MMA. I love Casey. Right? Ryan Barra for golf. Lots of great things going on with scoutfantasy.com. Be a part of the Scout Army. All right, guys, wishing you all a great weekend. To all the mothers out there who are listening, happy Mother's Day. As my dad always said, you can have many fathers, but only one mother. This is true. So treat her nicely, and I hope you have a great day. All right, guys, be well. Take care.
Thanks for listening to the Scout Fantasy Show. There's never been a better time to join the Scout Army. Visit scoutfantasy.com. Use the promo ROTO for 2 months free. And don't forget, fantasy players, please thumbs up the podcast on the iHeart app. See you next time. Go Scouts!